Hello, fabulous superstar Gemini. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of June 2018, looking at life and love. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. What an amazing month it is. We do have an active sky this month, but for you in particular, it is an important sky. And so what makes it important? Well, it really comes down to the fact that you are going to have a new moon in your sign. Now, you get a new moon normally once a year, and it is your personal new year. And this is it. Right at the middle of the month is when this celestial occurrence is going to take place, and it represents a sense of a fresh start for you. But the thing is that this new moon is speaking with Neptune. So as much as there is this sense of a new moon, I do feel that a lot of people out there are going to feel like they've sort of stepped into a Mercury retrograde for a brief moment, and that is going to be especially true for you. And so, as much as it may be that you feel this fresh start coming, don't worry if you can't exactly pin it down. And also don't worry if it feels like there's something that you're really hoping for, but you have to recognize as well that all things come in their time. And it isn't about you having control necessarily, but it is about you getting in touch with a belief about yourself and having faith in your life and in your future. Now, ultimately, this does represent a time with that Neptune connection that, again, you may not be seeing things clearly, but that includes about yourself as well. And so important to just be really kind and gentle to yourself at this time. And just know that as much as there may be hope at this time, even if you don't have all the information just yet, the information will come. Ultimately, when it is a new moon in your sign, it represents a time when you are very much in touch with the things that matter to you most and the things that matter to you first. Ultimately, what is it that feels the most like it is representing what is most important to you? What is it that the voice of your heart is saying? And just when you think you have the answer, that answer may feel more elusive and it may feel like it's changed. And at the same time, you will still have yourself and you will be strong. And regardless of if it feels not so clear in the moment, trust that you are making important new beginnings at this time. And as part of the mystery, things will work out not exactly the way that you're expecting and not exactly with the people that you may be expecting as well, but they certainly will work out indeed. Now, as we get to the later part of the month, that is when we are going to have a full moon. Now, this full moon is happening in a part of the sky for you that is important on a few levels. This full moon is happening hand in hand with Saturn. And this represents a few things, okay? So ultimately, this part of the sky, and when we have a full moon, it does represent a sense of culmination, a sense of fruition. And for you in particular, having this in a financial part of your sky, well, it can represent a time of feeling a sense of prosperity and money coming through. At the same time, of course, there's another layer to this which has to do with a personal transformation, understanding sort of the ultimate questions of life for yourself. But because Saturn is involved, and remember, Saturn is moving through its home sign. I spoke about this at length in the Saturn special, which is on my YouTube channel. And, you know, remember I said Saturn likes being in its own sign. It's able to bring forward its very best. And so what is that? Well, it's tangible results. It's what you can actually touch and feel, and it has to do with honoring the physical plane. And it has to do with honoring that we are incarnated for a reason. We have bodies for a reason, and we have a spiritual path, but then we have a practical path as well. And in the best of circumstances, we find a way to bring them together. Now, ultimately, Saturn being so involved with this full moon tells me that the rewards that come at this time are those that have been earned. Their time has come. And so it isn't necessarily a windfall here. And what I mean by that, it isn't like something that, you know, seems to come out of nowhere and really you didn't do anything and it just kind of showed up. It isn't that kind of energy, but rather what it is that you've already put in the time, you've already put in the effort, and now you are reaping the result. And so if there's money you've been waiting on for a long time, a financial settlement or a grant or a loan or bursary, insurance payment or benefit you may qualify for, well, this is where you get your answer. And this is where you know where you stand. And this is where, if it is that there is money that is owed you, it may very well show up for you at this time. But as I said, there's a more personal element to this energy. One part of it has to do with personal change and profound transformation at that. And this is where you get serious about change, is really what it comes down to. This is where, if there is an area within you where you're starting to identify, okay, something's showing up in my life again and again, it may be that I need to do some internal work here. Well, that internal work will show up for you. I do believe that that is the most rewarding work that you can undertake. When you address what is happening within you, it's amazing how your external can transform in ways that you love. Now, where it comes to matters of love, there's a few energies I'm looking at here this month. Of course, as I told you about last month, late last month, you had a full moon in your opposite sign. And so you're carrying that energy into this month, especially in the early part of the month at that. And so it looks like there are important things happening where it comes to matters of love. If you are open to meeting someone new, when you have important lunar activity in your opposite sign, as I told you last month, well, this can be a time where you are learning about yourself more clearly, as I like to say, as reflected in the eyes of another. And chances are someone is there to help you to understand these lessons about yourself. And if you are someone who is in an established bond, well, chances are they'll be coming very much into focus, especially in the early part of the month. But that's not all that's happening in love. Of course, as we get to the late part of the month and this full moon, it goes to a deeper place and it goes to a deeper level. As I said, this is energy that has to do with transformation, but it also has to do with intimacy, with knowing yourself and knowing another more deeply than you have before. If you are open to meeting someone new, this is where you realize that, you know, the superficial is just not going to cut it. You really want something that means something more and more profound at that. And you want something that actually feels like it can move you on a level of soul. If you are in an established bond, then this can be a time of a deepening connection with your partner. What this energy tells me is that what it is that is transpiring, it's like its time has come. For some of you, this is going to be a deepening of bonds. A profound deepening of bonds. And in fact, this may represent a joining of sorts. Now that can be emotional, of course, but it can be financial as well. So people make decisions at this time when you've got a celestial indicator like this, like they decide to get a bank account together. This tends to be a time when people solidify their bonds and find a way to merge more of their lives together. If you are open to meeting someone new, you have that sincere desire to be known on a deeper level, and to have somebody in your life that you actually feel that you can have that sense of emotional vulnerability with. So you want to be a little mindful of this, because with Saturn involved, what it says is you're not just going to be able to kid yourself that that's something that you have. It'll be very obvious if you have that in your life or not, and how you feel about that. And really, that is where the work is to be had. And the work is really profound because it helps you to move towards the type of love that you truly do desire. What I love about this month for you, look, in addition to all this, we do have officially on the 26th of June, well, Mars is going to go retro on that day. So do watch what transpires at that time. You will in some way be returning to this energy as we move further into the year, in particular in the fall. Of course, I'll be here to talk about it as we go along. And of course, I spoke about it in the Mars retrograde special for your sign on my website and for the superstars. Having said that, keep in mind that this is going to be a time where you are truly considering your place in the world more expansively than you have before. And this is also going to be a time where if there is a desire or an inspiration or a thought of you'd rather be somewhere else, or you'd rather be having different experiences, well, this is where that desire is going to show up for you more clearly, but also the way towards it. This is where you'll understand, you know, when I say the work is, of course, there's that internal work, but where is the work on the external level? Ultimately, what Mars is about is surrender. It's about understanding where you have power and where you don't. And you're about to tap into a deep resource of power that lets you know that you can accept exactly where you are. Now, that's a figurative place and that's a literal place, knowing that you will be exactly where it is that you are meant to be in any given moment. Well, thank you so much for watching. I'm truly so grateful for it. You can get a video like this each and every week by logging on to astrofabulous.com or nadiyashah.com. Sign up to be one of my superstars. Superstars get expanded, exclusive video scopes each and every week, unlimited access to all the special horoscopes I do, and so much more. All of this in the superstar space. I look forward to meeting you there. It'll be a great month. Enjoy.